Alrighty, what is up guys? Aldo here. Appreciate you guys. If you enjoy the content, smash the like button and check out the Aldo Empire Discord down below. Let me brag about some of the latest trades I've been making in this Discord. Obviously not going to be right all the time, but we've done pretty well, last day or two. It's also two other professional analysts as well. And so the Bitcoin long yesterday morning, I don't know if you guys saw the live stream of that one. Then last night, a short entry that got stopped out in profit. And then this morning, another Bitcoin short entry. It's been a pretty easy market to trade, so we've been killing it in there. Obviously, if you guys are interested, check it out. Link down below. Now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Locked in profits on that short. I still in that short. Did not get stopped out in profit yet. Hopefully, won't. Getting another jump off of this kind of area right here. So we've been just in this general range, and it's been very, very, very easy to trade since yesterday, because up, down, up, like not nothing too hard, but believe me, it's eventually going to break up or break down at some point. Let's kind of get into a few of the higher time frames. Last night I talked about the macro. I just want to talk about kind of the more bullish case before we could talk about the more bearish things. Main bullish case right now, and I can see it potentially happening, is you got some RSI starting to gap apart on the 2-day. You may get a bullish div pretty soon on the 2-day. Now, if this happens, over the weekend, it may not be as powerful. I don't normally try to trade over the weekend, but this is going to be a bullish div, most likely. When it does give us, that pattern, that could easily bring us back up to potentially your volume area high. A bullish div on the 2-day. It don't come around. It's not something that comes around too often. I think this technically probably, actually, yeah, no, it technically wasn't a bullish div, but that pattern, that general pattern did bring us up a good amount. It could be even like, let's see, this one, I just want to draw this out so I could actually see what I'm doing here. Yeah, that would be a bullish div, and that brought us up a good amount there. That kind of trajectory, and it even came up a bit higher. This was a long time ago in October. 2-day is a bigger time frame than many would think, but yeah, right up to this area, maybe even that volume area high. So that would be not surprising in kind of a accumulation year similar to 2015, 2019, where you're just freaking choppy for a while. This has been since March. When we could jump up, to that area in potentially the end of the month, next month or something. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we can, it's definitely possible. And then you may get, a green dot here in the daily. So would not, be overly bearish all of a sudden. Also with all this bad news with the SEC coming out. I think that's going to play out and bring us down, but you could get a little dead cat bounce or something, before then for the next month or something, next couple of weeks. Now let's get into more of the bearish things. So the more bearish case, comes down on, really it starts with, probably the 10-hour, I'd say. Money flow looks like it wants to get deeper here. 6-hour has 4 blood diamonds here. Sometimes these take time to play out, although these 3 here played out pretty well. You had to have some patience, but they generally brought you down. If you waited, a few days, a week or something, they did bring you down. And we're testing kind of a big point again, 26.3, which is the 200 weekly moving average. It's a huge point. The 4 blood diamonds here, look, I've seen it, I've seen times where it would come up to this area, maybe the point of control, maybe even 28.8, the volume area high, 29 or something, almost touched 29, and then just crash down from there. It's Bitcoin. We see a lot of volatility. We see a lot of crazy stuff. The 4-hour would generally tell us the same thing. Forgot to mention on the 6-hour, this is that trajectory I was kind of drawing out before. Sorry if the chart's a little messy. But, that kind of area downward. That's why I'm kind of trying to hold on to, the short I'm in now. I do have another, a few, swing trades, stuff like that still in. Those are, stuff you got to be more patient with. I trade on quite a few different accounts, too, so you could, I try to, kind of a side note, but I try to have, the ability to go swing long and scalp long on Bitcoin at the same time, and also go, and conversely, at the same time as that, go swing short and scalp short in Bitcoin. Now, there's not always 4 Bitcoin trades in like that, but sometimes there can be, and it can be advantageous if you know what you're doing. So, yeah, coming back down here, you're getting a green dot in the hourly. Now, you're getting a jump off of, exactly kind of that 200 weekly moving average. The point is, it's holding that. It means something. You're coming into the red on the 30-minute, but if you look at, the 16-minute here, you're getting You got that bullish div, you bounced off. It wasn't a trade that I personally took, or it's not a trade that I'm going to take. I've done too well lately, and you're getting into Friday, you're getting into the weekend, so it's going to be a bit harder to trade. I might just try to, sit this weekend out unless I see something like really, really good. That's the only time I really trade on weekends. Well, when I'm bored, but other than that, when I see something really, really good. So that's what I'm looking at right now. But ultimately, if the 6 hour does play out for the bearish case, I mean, you do have a technical target. This is one technical target around 24/7. The one of the wider kind of head and shoulders. I drew it weirdly. I don't. That's the shoulder, the head. The other shoulder is right there, and then this could be a larger head and shoulders that may form in the coming months. This is one trajectory. I think we've talked about this. It's not really any new news. Your neckline for it would be around there, I guess, and then this would be the case to come down back to 17K, 16K, something of that nature. That would, if we come down to 17, 18K, that would be very similar to the last two bear markets, kind of that double bottom, and then you come down farther. But I mean, when you zoom out on this 6 hour, I mean, it really looks like with all these bullet diamonds that you want to just freaking drop down like quickly. Although here with money flow, you just came up higher, so we will see. We'll absolutely have to see. This one brought you down farther, but yeah, hopefully we do something soon. Ethereum, I'm curious about the 2-day on Ethereum. Definitely does not look as good as the 2-day on Bitcoin, which kind of makes me think the 2-day on Bitcoin could be kind of that potential bullish dip forming could kind of be a bull trap, just because ETH looks a lot worse. Your RSIs are gapping apart a little bit, so maybe it could come up here though. But that trigger wave normally kind of does end up bringing you down, especially with it's not the 3-week yet, but I believe 2-week just confirmed the red dot. I mean, this obviously looks terrible. I mean, how would you approach this time frame? I mean, we would say this looks terrible if we saw this on the 4-hour, let alone the 2-week. So that's that point. And then money flow coming out here, that trajectory downward 68%. I think, it may take some time, and we may not see this really come down until September. I think it's going to be earlier, August, September, October. I think that's when you're going to see maybe even lower lows for ETH, or at least probably 1,100, in my opinion. Could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And then if we look at, the 12-hour, kind of trying to come back into the green there. It almost looks like with the RSIs, it wants to kind of roll over, become more bearish there. Money flow curving downward. I would say 8 hours a bit more bearish. The 6-hour money flow coming out, trying to get potentially a bit deeper there. If we did something like this in terms of that money flow, I just want to see that trajectory. Yeah, a lot of things are telling me that you would probably keep coming down, but we are getting in the weekend, so could be a little unpredictable, could be a little shaky. Now, let's talk about the bullish case here a bit. This would be the main, more short-term, I guess, bullish case would be, we do have an hourly, I believe that's a bullish div. Forgive me if it's technically not here. I think it is, but just about. Just about. But you're kind of not really, you got their point control right there that you kind of jumped off of. ETH is kind of all over the place. Now you're making this new kind of line of support here at 1827. I think you may trap some longs that went in around here, and you may come down to the POC pretty soon. That's kind of my estimate. Could be wrong. I've been talking about Bitcoin dominance a lot here. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it today. You guys know I think it's going to go up higher, at least to the mid-50s. I think you're kind of in this bull pennant. You've been in this on the 2-day for a while, since March, really. I think you're in a breakup, and I think when you do break up is when Bitcoin kind of loses the 200 weekly moving average, maybe goes back down to 23. I think you're eventually going to see this pop up when we do see a significant kind of trajectory downward. I also want to show you total 3 really quickly, crypto excluding Bitcoin and ETH, and this guy is just obviously not looking good by any means. I think you even have a red dot on the 3-week here, money flow coming out. Definitely doesn't look good by any means. And then you have as well a 2-week blood diamond here. So if that comes down 40, I'm thinking around 2 billion, maybe a little lower in 2 billion, maybe some wicks down below 200 billion. That's going to be, I think, prime real estate. And I think by then a lot of people are kind of just checked out, done with the market. And then here's what I think. You pump into the halvening potentially. Again, this is just speculative. I don't know if it's going to happen. crash after the halving, kind of a sell-off, and then shake out a lot of the weak hands, and then you enter the next bull run, maybe make a new high here. People have been talking about Algo. There's certain ones that are just looking extremely weak. People are talking about buying up Algo. I personally don't think that's a good idea. This isn't any type of advice. I mean, it can bounce here, though, but you got to be careful. This may be where we see things make even lower lows. And I know, you're hitting that major point. That was the pandemic drop down. Don't forget, some things do go below their... Some stocks, look at Meta. It went well below its pandemic low and came all the way back. So, there's that. If you look at Algo ETH, I don't like the yellow X in the weekly here. And if it can't outperform ETH, I mean, really, what's the point? I mean, obviously, if it can't outperform Bitcoin, what's the point? But if it can't outperform ETH, then there's really no point. I mean, you got 4 yellow X's. There's this one. Give it some time for this to play out. Give it a few months. Wait till Bitcoin dominance comes up higher. I think Algo's got a good shot at coming back. It may be a really good buy if we could get, potentially even lower. So, yeah. DXY, this has just been in no man's land for a while. I was talking about it last night. I mean, VWAP coming down here, that looks kind of bad, but you do have the gap to RSIs. I'm not too worried about the weekly just yet. I do think the monthly will kind of prevail and this will come up. I think this is kind of the place that kind of shakes out a lot of the people, shakes out like a lot of the bears, like with S&P 500 up to, 4,300. We're kind of in that place where you're kind of shaking out the bears, especially Netflix at 420. Good number, 420. Elon Musk would love that. And coming down a little bit there, you got that big point. I mean, how much more is this going to rally? How much are we going to rally all the way back to all-time highs? That'd be pretty wild if we did. I mean, I guess it's just all V-shaped recoveries these days. You don't see many consolidation phases anymore. Man, yeah, that was pandemic, and then just all down and just straight back up. Wow. But I think you're kind of getting there, especially the thing I want to show you guys on the S&P 500. Hitting this big point now. Now we're hitting this big point, 430, which is a big golden pocket right there. RSIs in the weekly are gapped and starting to come down. I also want to show you on Bitcoin kind of what marked our top at 31K. Look at these RSIs. They were gapped and starting to come down when we were very close to the top here around 28, 29. They started to come down. Came up a little bit higher, but now you're back down, below 26. So you're below the time where these started to curve down. So my opinion here, could be wrong, is that this will play out as a nice double top pattern. This would be wild too if you did a little bit of like traditional TA, I guess. Find the I forget what the technical target is for this, but I guess it would be kind of like this channel from here to here. And then if you break below this channel, you'd have a technical target at like 3,300, which is a big place people have talked about hitting for a while. Maybe we're at the point where everybody just gives up hope of that, and then we kind of make our ascent down. It could be later this year that we do see that lower low, that we do finally come to, pre-pandemic kind of numbers around there. That maybe later this year. And maybe the Fed kind of knows something that we don't, in the sense if they do pause in a week, maybe they know it's going to get bad. You know what I mean? Maybe they know something we don't. They know it's going to get bad, so they're just going to pause now. And yeah, that could be it. Yeah, it comes down. It still could come down a lot. Contrary to popular belief, the Fed has raised a lot. If they pause this time, I don't think that's going to be enough to kind of save these markets. I could be wrong. Maybe we just have an inflationary, jump up and we make new all-time highs like some people are saying. I mean, my main guess here is, let's make this kind of this pocket, this channel here, and I'd probably do it from kind of like there. It is kind of somewhat of a reverse head and shoulders too, but you make this pocket either 3,300, or you break up from that, slightly a new all-time high or a double top there. If you do make a double top towards the end of the year, that would be interesting to see what happens in 2024. Most likely then it would finally come down. So yeah, that's all I got right now, guys. Check out the Discord down below. There's a free Discord and a premium one down below. Also, if you want a really good exchange to trade on, check out FAIRDESK, a link down below. No VPN required. You don't have to use a VPN. No KYC required. Pretty good exchange. Been messing around with it a lot lately, doing a lot of live trades in there. So pretty good. There and MEXC are two really good ones, so check that out. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.